Alright, guys. So it looks like the Crimson Desert, what is this? Official Reed Devil Boss Battle gameplay trailer. Looks like that has recently come out. And I don't remember seeing this, so we're checking it out here. I'm kind of interested in what exactly does this game look like. So far, Crimson Desert looks like it might be a good game. I'm not really certain if it's going to be a good game, but we will see soon. I forget what I've seen in the past of this, but it's one of those games that's on my radar, and I get the assumption that this might be good. I think this came out, I think this is being made by the developers of Black Desert. I'm pretty sure. And that was an okay game. I tried to get into it. It wasn't really working out for me, personally, but there's things I like about the game. I mean, the women are freaking hot in Black Desert, so that's cool. But yeah, I don't exactly know what to expect from Crimson Desert. So, all right, let's see though. I forget. There's a trailer I saw, but I totally forget what it was. But anyways, let's see what this gameplay looks like here. And I'm hoping it's not too loud.
This is the place.
You know what? First and foremost. Oh my gosh, this is annoying. Hold up. So, there's something about the UI. I like how kind of gritty and simplistic that the UI is. It reminds me of Red Dead Redemption and our Red Dead 2. And that game, I appreciate kind of minimalism in a UI that wants you to get lost in the game and the world of the game that you are experiencing. And sometimes certain games, they litter the screen with a lot of like modern text and all these things that it becomes a little bit suffocating, right? It's like you can't really get that immersed when you're seeing a certain type of font on screen and just looks like a modern game. So the UI looks like it's made in the essence of the world that we're, and this is what I'm talking about actually here. Specifically, it's the fact that you see a lot of UI that's made for a lot of games nowadays. The UI does not feel like it's personalized for the world of the game that you are experiencing. So you might be playing through a certain type of game, but the UI does not resemble that game. So that you lose that immersion when you're playing a game and the UI looks way too sleek and way too refined for the genre that you're playing in, okay? This game so far, from what I'm seeing, and we'll see more from it, of course, but just so far from the UI, I like the minimalism, and I like that it looks like it's personalized for this game, so that gives me some good green light signals on this. And voice actor seems pretty alright at the start, and the graphics so far, they're looking pretty good. Let's go back on that. I mean, look at that. Whoa, look at those leaves. That's so good. Yeah, it really does look like, okay. It's a beautiful environment. I forget what you call this. Is this a gorge or a canyon? I think it's a canyon, right? That is a great male character right there, by the way. That looks like a freaking dude. Doesn't look like some kind of soy boy redditor, or it doesn't look like I don't know, it doesn't look like a freaking modern day loser that we're getting and stuff. Like, look at Peter Parker from freaking Spider-Man 2. And you can even throw into that freaking barrel, you can throw in Miles Morales, who is not Spider-Man. Look at both of them. They look pathetic, man. They look so pathetic. man, dude. Like, oh my gosh. See, I hate to do this right now because I don't want to praise something before I've experienced it. Isn't it so interesting that you're in this meadow and there's that one singular tree? There's an idea behind that. There's a reason why there's that one singular tree that's standing tall in this meadow when there's all the rest of those trees. They want to tell you an idea. In the background, it looks like there's a monument right there. So there, that means something. So like this guy's probably a part of a kingdom or something. He's a mercenary or he's on some kind of mission for that kingdom, whatever it is. You get an idea already. Nothing's been said. He just says, this is the place. Oh, man. I was talking about this in the Claire Obscure Expedition 33, that game that is going, there was a trailer that we were looking at just before this, and I was talking about there's no soul, there's no essence to this game. I appreciate many things they're doing, but there's things where it's like you notice within female storytelling or female writing, you notice it lacks a lot of personality, a lot of ego, and a spirit of creation. There's no ideas behind anything. There's no substance behind anything. The world that you're looking at and that you're getting lost in, it doesn't seem to actually possess any kind of vessel of the ego. Here, this means something. Look at this shot right here. They're telling you something here. And what I also love about this, they're taking their time. You know, one second. Every great story typically starts slow. It wants you to get buckled in. It starts with something mundane, something that it's like a weird way of a writer or a storyteller proving themselves to you. Like, you don't know if you should care about what I just created here. So let's start off slow. First, I want you to get lost in this song. First, I want you to get lost in this conversation. In The Witcher, in the first Witcher book, how does Anders Sapkowski, how does he start? How does it start in the first Witcher book? How does it start? It starts with a political conversation, and I think in this like embassy kind of location for a lot of merchants and a lot of politicians, whatever. It starts off slow. Starts off with conversation about things that you wouldn't really expect a story to start off with, right? And it has to do with the politics of the world of The Witcher. It has to do with this guy, he has power, and he's talking to this other guy about race relations between the dwarves and the elves and how, you know, they're mixing with each other and certain people, they don't like that. And he's just talking about that. He's talking about how, you know, I have all this power and I have all this wealth and I don't care about really anyone's backgrounds because I have whatever I want, right? That's kind of how he's talking. He's talking about how I have all these options and I select what I want when I want it. Obviously, he's going to have preferences, as everyone does. You know, we can talk. Anyways, that's a whole other conversation, but we know some preferences of everybody in modern day. But that's how the story starts. It starts with something that you wouldn't think, oh, this is what you start a story with. Some guy talking about fictional sexual relations between different races. And talking about the politics of the world. It's like, well, that's too slow and that's too boring and blah, blah. But no, that's how you do it. And you look at Tolkien, and when he started the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, when he starts the first book, it starts with the hobbits in the Shire. It starts with Bilbo's birthday. It starts with all these things. Why do I care about this guy? Why do I care about his birthday? Tolkien's talking about, you know, in his writing, in the start, he's talking about the calendar year and what that looks like for the world of Middle Earth and the hobbits. And it's talking about these relationships between all these different characters. And it's talking about, you know, Frodo's parents and how they got together and then they died and all that stuff. You're learning about all these slow details, and you're getting buckled into a world where it's like, why should I care about these things? And this is something that proves that you are a good storyteller. Start with something slow. Start with something, why do I care? Start with something, this is not how a story typically starts, and it's not always something that has to be mundane, but a great way to prove that you are not going to waste the reader or the audience's time. A great way to prove that you're not going to waste anyone's time is start off slow. Start off with something that no one should care about. Make it interesting. Start off with something that nobody knows that anybody should care about. Make it interesting. And a good writer, he can make a character talking about his mother and the kind of recipes that she makes for him for food growing up. Let's say it's a story about a hero. And the story just starts off with him talking to another guy, talking about, my mother makes this kind of food. She makes it with these ingredients. She does this and she does that. And what else? What's another good detail here? And this guy just recently, he just turned, let's say 19 years old, and now he's enlisted and he's going to go join a war, right? Okay, interesting scenario. Interesting. He's talking to this random guy. He's talking about, this is what my mother usually used to cook for me. This is what she made. This is what I was typically fed with growing up. Who would be interested about that in most stories? Who gives a crap about whose mother is making what food for some freaking guy? Who cares? But a great writer, a great storyteller, whatever. They know how to make the mundane interesting and how to feed it into a larger narrative, because there's a bunch of things you can do with that. And that's what we're talking about here. When we're looking at this so far, and I'm not trying to overblow this, I'm just saying, like, right now, how they start this gameplay trailer is terrific, because they're showing to you, we're going to start off slow. We're not going to, oh, look, all this action. Oh, look this. Oh, look. No. Because all that's coming later. We want to prove to you that even a guy standing in a meadow with a singular tree, that we can make that mostly compelling. And that's what we're doing here. And I can see it. It's interesting so far to me. There's a lot of ways I can go with this in my own mind. How can we further make this interesting here? But that's the thing. You want to have a scene where it's like, how many ways can we make this more interesting? You want to start from a low ground zero point with all this potential. This is where we can go. This is what we can do. We can make this thing. We can do that thing. You want to start from a ground zero position. Where can we go from here? And right from here, I can think of all kinds of things that we can start or that we can continuate where so far this trailer has started and where the narrative is going. There's so many places we can go. There's so much information that I now want to know. This is an issue with a lot of modern products. There's a bunch of information I don't care about. I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to be lost in your worlds. I don't care. I'm not interested. Right here, I'm interested. Right here, I want to know about your world. Right here, I actually give a crap about what's going on. This is something that so many properties that they struggle with, and that they just don't know what the F they're doing. They really don't know what they're doing. Right here, you've got me asking questions that's making me want to know more about the world. I will say this one last time. You have a lot of properties coming out today. They will throw in a bunch of lore to their world, and it's like, your world is not interesting. I don't have any questions about your world. I don't care about your characters. I don't care about their backstory. I don't care about anything that has to do with anything surrounding them. I don't want to know about the geography. I don't want to know about any of it. I don't want to know your lore. Here, I already have questions, and now I want to know that information. This is made by somebody. They know what they're doing. Now, I don't know the rest of this. How good is it going to be? Let's keep going.
Devil of the reed fields, I have come to claim your head. Show yourself, coward!
You would take such a pitiful life.
Man, dude, this is great. It's starting so slow. They're taking their time with it. They're not just immediately getting to the point. That is how you cheapen your own value. No, they're taking their time. You know, we're not immediately fighting the beast. No, it's this slow build up. It's a slow, what world are we in? What's surrounding us? Where'd this guy come from? What is he doing? There's all these questions, and we're slowly building up the intrigue. This is great so far.
It was mine.
Coward!
You would would take such a pitiful life as mine? Well, you're certainly not the first to try. My own father, if
That is so.
first
I
pitiful
love
life was
that.
mine?
I love that this guy speaks in a rhyme. I love that. That's great. That's great. So now the enemy that this guy is seeking out, there's something interesting about his persona, and that is that he rhymes when he speaks, right? He doesn't need to do that. He's not just some random beast, some random enemy. No, he's this personified existential being, he's greater than an archetype. He's some kind of mythos, and he embodies that mythos. This is great.
Well,
I'm really liking this so far.
you would take such a pitiful life as mine?
Right there, demeaning himself. You would take such a pitiful life as mine, right? He's trying to play down his own significance. This guy is going out of his way. He's going after the Reed Devil. Well, there's some reason why, right? In the world, this guy is a legitimate problem. And then this guy's like, why would you take such a pitiful life as mine? Bro, this is made by someone. They know legitimately what they're doing. This is good. This is good so far. Seriously, he's not like, oh, I'm super strong and powerful. Oh, come at me, bro. No, it's not super hard on the nose like that. No, this is, wow. This, okay, so far, I'm liking this.
Well, you're certainly not the first.
Well, certainly why would you, you're coming for a life as pitiful as mine. That already says enough. That's one little sentence, and that says so much. Then he says, well, you're certainly not the first to try. So this guy's pitiful. Oh, why would you pay attention to me? I'm worthless. But also, he's not the first guy to try and best the Reed Devil and kill it. So that's, dude, 2 dialogue lines, and that already says so much. This is what I'm talking about. The scenes, you don't have to have a lot said, and there's a lot spoken already by the location, by what's going on here. Then the Reed Devil and what he has to say, 2 dialogue lines already. That says so much more than most of modern day products where people just ramble on and they don't mean anything by what they say. This is already terrific. I love this so far.
My own father, if one could call him that. Came desperately seeking his bastard boy, when no sons were left of his noble line. But when he took one look at my leprous face, he called me and never tried anything.
Man, this is great. I'm actually enjoying this. This is actually good so far.
My life
Wait. I want to hear that again.
called me and never tried anything. My life.
That's cool. Wow, the visual effects during the combat looks great too. I like it. Okay, the combat looks alright. Okay, that's cool. And he has a shield and that blocked it. That's cool. He's staggering him. That's cool. The combat doesn't look bad. I don't know if it is bad, but it looks alright to me. It's a little bit loud. Wait. I want to see that again. Alright, let's see that. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. So it's like there's combos, and those combos... So it's like there's combat combos, and they initiate different stagger effects, right? Like knocking up the enemy into the air, or kicking him down into the ground. So like that's cool if you can do like a weird kind of like action RPG fighting game type of combo set on these enemies. I don't know. So far, the combat actually looks cool. It's not just slash at an enemy. No, it's interactive combat. So it would be cool if we... Okay, see... They're doing a good job because now I'm making up stuff in my own head. I did this with Destiny back when the first game was coming out, and I was like, oh, what if there's space combat, blah, blah, blah. No, there was none of that. Anyway, It would be cool though if there's certain attacks that can grab an enemy, and let's say the enemy has a shield on one hand and not on the other. Let's say that grabbing an enemy where the shield is, right? It's harder to grab onto them and then thrust them because that's a much more guarded position, right? And you have to maneuver your hand around that shield. So let's say though you have a certain grab attack that if you go for the arm, and it has to be like maybe when the enemy's not swinging, right? You can grab them by the shoulder and try to throw them to the side and possibly throw them to the ground, or it just staggers them momentarily and you can get a strike in. Like if that's the kind of interactive combat that we're seeing here, that you have these, and I don't know if that's in this game. I don't know. But, so far we're seeing some interesting kind of interactive combat, and I am liking that. So far this is I'm actually kind of impressed. And I don't know how good this is going to be, but like, I get the feeling that this is kind of like bringing a game like Mortal Kombat and that fighting style, bringing that, synergizing that into an action RPG, which is really cool. And I could see this game being really awesome if they deliver this right. If they execute it well, this could be a really good game, and I actually mean it. Yeah, see, that's cool. I like that. I like all the counters and the combos that they both have. The enemy and your player. So that was a parry, I guess. Dude, that's so cool. I love how this is my biggest thing about a lot of games and their combat. I want it to be more interactive. I want it to be more like, they're charging up in an attack and I can either do a weird kind of like block parry, or I can do some kind of like maneuver. So far, they're showing a lot of things that it seems like you can do, where the one time he was charging up his blade, it looked like he sprinted in and he leaped over him as he was charging up, and that evaded the attack. So that's cool. And then the other way was that he did a parry with the shields. I don't know what exactly that was, but okay. It's cool how many ways you can maneuver around the enemy and how they're maneuvering around you. So it's like this weird kind of cool counter system where you can do this attack and they can do this attack and you can kick them and you can do all these things. I really like so far what we're seeing. I'm not playing the game right now, so I don't know how good it actually is, but so far it looks good. Okay, I can barely hear the voice. Hold up. Let's bring it up a little bit.
Like a noose upon me. Such a holy creature claim to bear my noble blood. You are but a blight, so shuffle off this mortal coil and join your mother, dog of death.
Oh, wow.
His tricks.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. So, I don't know if this character's mother's actually dead, but see, this guy's really bent up about his father. His father basically gave birth to a son that he did not want, that he did not, he's not proud of, right? Because the boy came out as leprous, as he says. So he has an illness, right? And so he's deformed in some way. So he called him a devil, and his father tried to end his son's life. Of course, who does the majority of abortions? We all know it's women, but okay, whatever. It's still cool, narratively speaking. But then he's also he's linking that to the character, and I guess maybe the character's mother is dead. So then so he's linking his own hang up, his own problems, and he's linking that to the enemy he's fighting, which is you, the main player. So that's cool.
They're getting the better of me.
So it seems like, I don't know. I don't really understand why he's taking out the scarecrows. I don't know why that matters, but it is cool that there's a narrative element to this boss fight. Oh, he can't attack him. And this guy is creating apparitions of himself, it seems like, through these either effigies or weird totems that are messing with or skewing his mind or his acuity. And so you need to take that out to continue the fight. So that's cool that they're interacting gameplay to narrative. This is really well done so far because, wow. So far, you know what? I'm actually pretty impressed. Like, this is someone that actually understands what they're doing. We have not gotten this in a long time. I don't know how good this game's going to be, man, but so far, I'm just impressed with a lot of what we're seeing here. Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, wow. So you can slide and do an arrow shot. So this combat looks like there's a lot of tools you can utilize. I really like that too.
You enjoy my company so much. Let us tarry a while.
Wow. This is a really cool fight. Oh, what was that? Oh, was that that looked like a drop kick. Okay, let's bring down the volume just a tad. Let's see that again. So it looks like, I guess his character model was technically still there, but he was leaping away. So it's like, it's a funny gaffe, but I mean, it's still cool regardless. Dude, wait, what was that? How did he do that? So how do you do that in the gameplay? How do you do that? He literally, so this guy shows up on him, and then he literally flings him over his back onto the ground, and that gives you an open window to get a stab in. That's cool. I love how interactive the gameplay is. Like, this is actually cinematic gameplay where you're not doing a cutscene to fight, but you're able to engage with the enemy and have certain counters that's largely like a cinematic kind of free-flowing gameplay. That's what I'm seeing here, and that's really cool so far. Oh, that's cool. Wow, that's cool. So, was it that he slid into him, right? Because your character can do a slide. So if you do a slide into an enemy, does that allow you to initiate that animation to, right, thrust him onto the ground? Because then that's really cool that they give you a slide option, but you can utilize that to open up a combo. This is real. Oh, dude, that's so cool. I love that. There's all these ways. See, there's all these ways that you can break the momentum of the boss. That's so. I want to see that again. See, he was charging it up. Wow, that's cool. Wow, this is cool. I like this. This is really cool gameplay. This looks really tense. Wow. Wow. The music is good, by the way. I like the music. Man, I love that. Wow. Wow, the kick. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Look at that continued combo. So you're just waiting for an opening so that then you can initiate one of your counters, right? Throw him onto the ground, kick him onto the ground. You can kick him as he's on the ground to continue your combo. So it's literally like an action RPG fighting game. That is so cool. You know what? I could see that this might be a game with a legitimate multiplayer. With this kind of, if it's what it looks like to me, this might have a legitimate PvP kind of multiplayer for a third-person fighting game, right? Somewhat different from For Honor. You know, For Honor's a great game, but this is a weird variation, I would say, on maybe what For Honor's kind of like. Again, I don't know if this is like based on directional inputs, because I could see that. Really cool so far. This is a really cool game, and this boss fight looks good to me. Okay, that's cool. Wow. Wow. And you know what, dude? If this were a freaking girl boss, this guy would already be dead. I love that we're just having like a legitimate fight between two men who are legitimately not equivocal, but they're both fighting as if they're both the protagonist. It's not easy for this guy to get the kill. I love that narrative aspect to this game. It shouldn't just be easy for the main character to get his kills. He needs to freaking bleed and sweat for it. I love that. I think, as I remember, they had Geralt do that quite a few times in The Witcher 3. I forget in the base game. I think there was a couple of times, but in some of the DLCs, they made him really fight hard to kill some of the enemies that you're faced off against, right, in the DLCs. So I love it whenever we approach a character like this, because it's a sense of realism, and it sells to you a great idea that this is an excellent man, right? Who is, or an excellent kind of character, you know, man, but that the character themselves, he is well trained enough that he can go toe to toe with this combatant who's capable of defeating him, right? So you don't know who's going to win, even though, like, well, technically we're the main player, we should be winning, but like, you still narratively, you don't just believe you're just going to win because, oh, I'm the main character. This is really good.
I would you died. Care to guess?
See, what I love about this, you've got to treat your villains like the protagonist. You don't have a proper villain unless you treat them like the protagonist. If you put equal care into your villain as you do the protagonist, you're going to have a great parity between the villain and whoever the protagonist is, hero, whatever you want to label him as. The main character is elevated by simply having a great villain. And when the villain is treated with the same importance as the protagonist, it elevates the narrative that much more.
Why would you die? Care to guess? The mask.
Oh, wow, wait. Wait, so how did he do that? He pulled him against the ground? I guess. Wow. This is good right here.
My secret has come to light. This dance shall resume some other day.
Running again.
Allow this poor man a brief respite, and look to your own health as well, until we meet again.
Wow, dude, that's so cool. That is legitimately cool. I don't know when it's coming out at all, but that's a legitimately good. That's a legitimately good boss fight, and it's a boss fight that tells a story as you're doing it, and it progresses as you're fighting the boss, right? The kind of narrative with the boss, the world is designed around the boss. Now, I don't know what this really means. What is the deal with this? What I mean, is that like a tombstone over there, or I don't know, some weird portal? Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it's cool. So, a lot of things that you look at with this game is really cool, you know? The Frozen Soul Mountain. That's an interesting name as well. So there's a lot of things that's really well done here. Like, see, it doesn't take much to make something that is compelling, but you really have to make sure that you understand absolutely everything, all the substance that you're throwing into what it is that you're creating. A lot of people, they can't do this. They're just not made for it. It's just a simple fact. Most people, they're not good storytellers. Most people, they're not good writers. Most people, you know, some people think that because they know freaking grammar rules that they're good writers. No. Knowing grammar rules, you're good at memorization, good for you. That doesn't mean anything. You know, you're not, you don't have spontaneity, or maybe another word is you're not, you don't have any ingenuity. You're not able to think on the spot. How do I improvise and make something have worth and have value as we're doing this, right? As we're creating. And we see a lot of things that come out nowadays. A lot of things come out and they're just bad. The writers, they don't understand how to possess the meaning of a story, of a character properly throughout scenes. They don't know how to take their time. They don't know how to deliver the information within a reasonable amount of time within the storytelling. They don't know how to do this. Again, most people are not made for this, but whoever the creative director is, whoever the writer is, whoever the whatever overall narrative designer that we're having here, they've done a really great job in just utilizing the gameplay, utilizing the environment, utilizing everything that this is built around this game. And what we're experiencing here, they're doing a great job at delivering a narrative work or a conceptual. They're doing a great job with their conceptual execution. The ideas have a great build up and they lead to interesting places. And the characters are compelling, and what they're doing is compelling. So, you know, I will say this. It does annoy me whenever you fight a boss and then they run away. That is annoying, you know? And I wish at the end of this fight, maybe there was like a trinket that the guy accidentally drops, and that trinket is like a piece of loot for some kind of thing that's, you know, some kind of reward after doing that entire fight. It would have been nice if something was left behind, but okay, whatever, you know. Outside of that, I mean, that's a nitpick. Ultimately, dude, overall, this was really great to look at. The delivery, the execution was terrific. And this is one of the few people, okay? You can tell that this was made by men and that this was made for men. And you can tell that they understand the value that they're providing and they understand how to create something that has worth. Here, I'm actually excited for this game, legitimately, just by the fact that they did such a great job executing a lot of these elements to this. It's not really a cutscene, but right, this kind of cinematic, what is it? This cinematic part of the game. They did a really great job with it. Whoever the directors and the writers are, they did a really good job. I'm really impressed. And I'm just a little bit surprised that we've gotten something like this. Quite honestly, I mean, most things nowadays are completely soulless. They go nowhere. They mean absolutely nothing. This right here, it means something. And I don't know how many other things in this game are interesting Does everything else have a good idea behind it or not? I don't know. If they do a good job with everything else that is a part of this game, then I am seriously impressed. And I really am looking at this game thinking there's some real potential here, that this might be a really great game that comes out. And this will be one of the first great games in a long time that's to come out.